Hey Nutty Buddies, welcome or welcome back. So I hope everybody's doing well. I'm going to be sharing some things I do or and trying to incorporate to help myself with my wellness journey, and I'm going to share them with you. I just want to say, as a disclaimer, I am not a professional in any way. This is just my opinion. Please consult your doctor. Everybody has unique, everyone's unique, and everybody's body is unique, and everybody has different guidelines that they need to follow for their best health. So please keep that in mind. For me personally, this is about weight loss. Weight loss is not the main focus. It is to be healthier. I need to lose weight to be healthier. And some people need to eat more food to be healthier. So if you have any kind of ED or issue with hearing about food, I feel like, please, what's the word? Disclaimer? Trigger warning. I'm just trying to share, and not that I'm the poster child of health, because I'm not. I'm a real person. I've had the struggles with this. I have food addiction, and there's these things that I incorporate to try to better myself. Organization is going to be in this. I'm going to be talking all in it. I just want you guys to know that these are things that have worked for me in the past, and I fell off the wagon, and I'm getting back on that horse, long story short, and I'm going back to the basics of where I started on my journey, and starting over and using the tools that I have learned throughout the journey to pick myself up and start going back on the right path for myself. I hope that. I'm sorry, guys. And there's so many people out there that are so much more educated and well-spoken and better at presenting these things. I'm just myself, and I don't know how to do. I'm just doing the best I can and trying to be honest with everybody about my struggles, and how it isn't easy. But then here's some things that you can try if you're having the same sort of struggles as me, that they've helped me before. I lost 120 pounds with the help of gastric sleeve surgery, but I did work. I had to do a lot of stuff, and I got educated, and again, my situation might not be the same as yours. For me, I need a well-balanced diet. I am not to cut out any food groups. I have a long list of health issues and different things. I have high cholesterol. I know from before I fell off the wagon, the food wagon, I low sugar, low carbs. A lot of this stuff is just common knowledge, I think, at this point, but it wasn't common knowledge to me, so I could be wrong about that. But some of these very specific foods that I point out and stuff, they might be like, oh, I can use that. I can help. Like, I saw Twisted Gypsy the other day, and I didn't want to intrude upon her channel, but I almost felt like telling her, she was talking about how she had a hard time getting in her water. And I feel that. And my trick of helping me get in my water is getting tasty drinks. Um, like this. Tasty flavors that are low calories and zero sugar to add to my drinks. Or, you know, just to name one example. That helps me get in my water. And I'm going to be showing you now just basic healthy food prep. That is my definition of healthy. That's what's healthy for me, to me. So I feel like legal mumbo jumbo, I guess, you know, not trying to say follow my advice, but maybe some of these, but at the same time, if you're in a similar situation with as I'm in, maybe some of these things could help you out. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. I got, I've been wanting this, but for Christmas, one of the things I got for Christmas is this Skinny Syrups cotton candy. And I can never find the cotton candy. So I got it on Amazon, but it really wasn't that expensive. Like when you consider the shipping, it's actually better than just going to the Skinny Syrup site. And Skinny Syrup site doesn't have cotton candy ever. Anyway, I thought that may be fun to try. Okay. So I'm going to take my lettuce. I've shown this before, but I'll show it again. Salad prep. It's been in there a little while. A little brown in places. Get that brown off. Okay. The rest of that's pretty good. This tearing it into pieces. I hope everybody's doing well and feeling okay. A lot of people have been sick, snowed in, having stressful things going on, feeling overwhelmed. I've felt all these things as well, guys. I'm trying not to be stressed out because I've got this surgery on Monday, and I'm trying to put myself in the best position for recovery as I can, and also get stuff done before I go into surgery. So even though I feel like, from what I've been told and from other surgeries that I've had, that this probably won't be much of a big deal to me, considering the other surgeries I've been through. Like, I'll feel better within a day, and I'll probably, like, okay, my gallstone surgery, that was the first surgery that I had. Well, okay, unless you count orthoscopic surgery. I had orthoscopic surgery when I was a teenager because my bones are weird, and my stuff kept dislocating, and they did orthoscopic surgery on both of my knees. They severed a tendon or something like that so that it would not maybe hopefully stop it from dislocating. And it did. It hasn't dislocated since. It worked. Okay, I'm just gonna, you're not gonna see, but I'm just gonna rinse this off real quick. Cold water. I messed that up. But anyway, and then I'm just gonna pull it up and drain it. You can hear it. It's like a strainer in there. See? Okay, so anyway, so besides the orthoscopic surgery, which I was telling Wendy the other day that I didn't like the TENS unit, that's when I had to do the TENS unit, and it was like an electric shock on my knees, and I hated it. I just hated it. Anyway, then, like, not in the not so distant past, or it was like, I don't know, 2 years, two and a half, 2 to 3 years ago, I needed to have my gallbladder removed. And they did it pretty quick. When we found out what was going on, like basically I had a sharp pain and like right underneath my boob, and I asked some of my friends online. I used to play mobile games online. One of them was a doctor, and he was like, that sounds like you need to go to the doctor because it sounds like that's a gallbladder, and it was. And so with that surgery, it was really, really painful. It was the most painful one of the two. And but I've always been somebody who, because of my conditions, I have a high tolerance for pain because I'm used to pain on a regular basis. But when there's a different pain, or, you know, like I notice the pain with a gallbladder, you know, like it's not like I don't notice it. I'm just living with it for so long that I can kind of, I don't want to say ignore it, but I don't know how else to put it other than like radical acceptance. That's the best way I can explain. I will say that watching Lady Gaga's interview with Oprah Winfrey about mental health, trauma related to fibromyalgia, I can never say that right, I know I'm not saying it right, and all kinds of other stuff, and how she's lived with pain and everything else, like it just really helped me, and it helped me change my mindset. And so if you haven't watched that, and you struggle with a lot of different physical limitations and pain, I would recommend checking that out. And also on the subject of Oprah, I'm just gonna dump this whole thing of carrots in here. You know what? No, I'm not. I'm only gonna dump half. I always say that, and I always end up only doing half. So I'm gonna rinse this off in cold water. That might not be the best idea. Like it might make the lettuce wilty or whatever. let me just show you the stuff that came out in the water. In the bowl, I mean. Let's give that one more wash. All right. Oh. Now that's wet as heck. I got too much water down on that. Anyway, it's just clear now, so it's fine. Mix it around real good. So having this stuff made ahead of time, you know, having the stuff that you feel like you should be eating based on your nutritional needs, looking nice, or for me, having it looking nice and having it easily accessible and ready to go helps me a lot. And I'm one of those people, it's like if I see it in my face, I go for what I see in my face, you know? So it really helps me make that better choice to go ahead and have this. So I'm just drying it off, and I'm gonna put this stuff away, and I'll be right back with you guys. So I'm just gonna put these carrots in one of these container things I got. I'm gonna need to get into them for other things anyway. And then I'm gonna continue telling you about my surgeries. Stuff like fit in there. Fits in there pretty good. Okay. So I wasn't expecting that to be so quick, but oh well. You know that's not gonna do it for me if you know me at all. So I'm also have other reasons. I feel like I'm going to be talking a lot already, but I'm trying not to just divulge every detail, everything wrong with me, every medicine I take. You know, this is too TMI. Shoot, I can't do it and talk at the same time. I hope they don't need to breathe, because they're not breathing. They're on life support. Okay. Here's what's left of my grapes. Two, 4, 6, 7. Okay, well, it wasn't meant to be. I was gonna cheat and have another one, but these are cotton candy grapes. I love my cotton candy grapes. Okay. It's in the refrigerator. Just show you my inside of my refrigerator while I'm talking to you about it, I guess. did a lot of organizing of this stuff while my husband was gone. There's some frozen blackened chicken in here. There's my grilled chicken. I'll be heating up some of that with my salad. You'll see it. There's some dressing from vinaigrette dressing from Chili's. There's my what I call Kool-Aid. There's one of my secret weapon drinks. Kool-Aid is my, and I just call it Kool-Aid for easiness. You know, it's obviously not Kool-Aid. I don't want to call it flavored water because of the big old controversy on water talk. Whatever, you know, it's just, I don't want to deal with anybody being negative. Even though me saying that is me being negative, I guess. Anyway, you know, some of this stuff is his. And, you know, there's what I'm going to make. I'm making these, going to make those cookies for both of us. And I don't know if I'll be able to eat any or if I will eat any or not. But that's the St. Patrick's Day cookies. These are pretty good. I don't think I talked about these. I like this huckleberry. You're my huckleberry. Clear American, Walmart. And, you know, that protein. Oh, I love this. This is, and if you're trying to get off of caffeine, I mean not caffeine, but carbonated drinks, this is good. It's really, really good. So anyway, there's the sausage that I'm gonna use to make. I'm gonna make eggs, sausage, and biscuits. And yeah. Okay, well, I didn't talk any more about my surgery now, did I? So I'm gonna try talking about it just right to you guys. Maybe I'll eat a grape. I've got my shorts riding low because they're short. It's the only thing. So the gallbladder surgery was painful, and I was out of the like, you know, they want you walking around and seeing how you're doing and all of that. I got nauseous from the anesthesia. That was not fun. And I barely remember being taken out of that situation. I went and stayed with my mom, as I usually do. You know, my mom's retired and my husband works. So, and my mom wants to take care of me in these situations. And I really appreciate her. I really have. I really love my mom so much, and I really feel like I have the best mom ever. And I just don't know what I would do without her. And she's just amazing. She's just an amazing person. And my husband's amazing too. It's just he has to work, you know, he has to work. He's gonna take off on the day of, he's taken off on the day of my surgery. But, you know, he's got to pay them bills. No bills. No bills. Bills. Let me get one of these clementines going while I'm talking. I guess I'll do that. Try to do that. Something's wrong with me. I think I am stressed out. It has nothing to do with the surgery while I'm stressed out, really. Well, maybe a little bit. You know, you got to pay money. There's some money that has to be paid. Insurance doesn't pay all of it. It's not cheap. It is what it is, you know. So I usually don't. I've had a lot of different things where I was given pain medicine or offered pain medicine and I say no. or, you know, but, because I have a multitude of reasons why that's gone sideways for me in the past, and I'm a lightweight. Like, it doesn't take anything to, like, you can give me a Tylenol and it'll knock me out, you know, it's like that. But it can chemically, I'm chemically imbalanced. I'm chemically imbalanced, literally. So things like that react differently with me. And I think anybody that's in, I think it's the same with anyone, whether they're chemically imbalanced or not. Nobody's going to have the same exact reaction to things. That's why I'm saying, hey, don't just do what I do. You know, you got to figure out what works for you, and what's the best way for me may not be the best way for you. What I do might not be, I don't know if that makes any sense. And I'm just trying my best. I'm not doing everything right. I'm not, and I'm not an expert. But, so basically I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't even think I had an option. I have a vague recollection of waking up, being nauseous, and then my mom and this nurse helped me from the wheelchair into the car. And I guess my mom got, like, they give you the option of getting your medicine there at the hospital or at your regular pharmacy. And since my mom's taking me to her house, which is nowhere near my house, I mean, so nowhere near my pharmacy, she picked it up. She just picked it up, and I needed to take it. And I remember that first day, like, once I got home and got over whatever drugs they had me on there, I was like, you know, I felt like so much, I was no good. But I took a pain pill that first day, and I was gone. I was out of commission. Bye-bye. And then I think I might have took another pain pill that same day, and then the next day I took one, and then after that I didn't take any more. So that just gives you kind of an idea. Like, I'm just trying to give you an idea of my pain tolerance, you know, because I had a whole full bottle of pain pills left. And my my lack of willingness to take stuff like that. There's other things that I do that help me with my pain, but I don't, a lot of family members watch my channel. I don't feel comfortable giving full disclosure on every single thing about my life, because okay. I don't know. I hope that you guys understand what I'm saying on that. Like, there's some things that I am unwilling to discuss because they affect other people or have to do with other people, if you get my jive. So I'm just not going to do that. So, so then, you know, I kind of was up and around right away, healed fast, all these things, all the good things. And at that time I did have diabetes. So it was really good that I recovered the way I did. I apparently am a pretty fast, good healer. And then when I had the gastric sleeve surgery, they told me that it would be worse, for lack of a better word, harder, more painful, more difficult than the gallstone surgery was. Am I saying that right? Gallstone? Gallbladder. I had gallstone, or I don't remember what it was, but it was like, I had this pain, like right here, went to the doctor, oh, it's this, surgery within that same week. It was like, we got to get this now. We got to take care of this immediately, basically. And then with the gastric sleeve, it was this whole big long process, and there was very strict guidelines and very particular things that you had to do and that you needed to do, and that's where I feel like I got my actual education about how to eat and nutrition and so on, was through that process. And if you guys want, you let me know. I will actually get my gastric sleeve book out and read you like the very specific directions for the after, for the when you're back on, because I feel like that the after diet, the once you're fully healed and able to eat solid full foods again after plan, I think is a good healthy plan for most people. So, and that's the plan, if you will. I mean, I kind of have my own plan, and I feel like you need to have your own plan, because you have to enjoy what it is that you're eating, or it's not going to work for you. At least that's how it is for me. You have to find the things that you know you should be eating, but that you also enjoy. You have to, or else it won't work. I mean, at least it didn't work. It's a lifestyle. It's not a diet. It's a lifestyle change. And for me, it's like a gradual, you don't just boom, change everything. That's not going to work. It's not going to work. Didn't work for me. It's not going to work. I went through diets and all kinds of stuff all before that. I almost died. That's what motivated me to that's what kind of pushed me into getting the gastric sleeve. I was going to die. I was on my way to death. And I'm now gaining weight again, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, no, I'm not doing this. I have to get myself together. I understand why it happened, and there's fair reason for a lot of it, but I just, stuff happens, and now I'm gonna pick myself back up again and get back going on the right track that I need to be on for myself, so that I can do the most that I can do and be the healthiest that I can be. And that's all. I don't know. Yeah, and I hope that this is coming across okay, and that it's not too... I'm really insecure about this. I'm really insecure about talking about these things and sharing them, because there's so many experts out there, and people that are better at it. But I feel like I want to share this. I want to share what I've learned and what I'm doing, because I really do think that it might help somebody. And if I'm being 100% honest, it's helping myself. Number one reason really for this channel, for me starting this, was to help myself, to kind of hold myself accountable. I haven't been exactly doing that completely. So maybe I'll start doing that more. But I got a lot in my head. I got a lot going on. I have to find this balance. It's a work in progress, but long story long, I had a whole pill full of pain medicine after that. And then when I had the gastric sleeve, the doctor came in. He's like, "Oh, you did real good. You're doing real nice." And I was like, I remember them telling me it's really important to get up and walk around as soon as possible. So I was all about, I had it in my head, because I had it in my head to do that. And it was a lot of work. It wasn't just an easy thing to go and get that. There's a lot of hard work on my part to get to that point. Mentally and physically, it was a lot. And that's good. I don't think that people should just be dishing those out. You need to know what you're getting into and understand And but yeah, that surgery saved my life. And I'm not saying that that means that it's something that you should do, but if you're having multiple things that have to do with being morbidly obese, I was 350 pounds, my biggest weight. I would at least look into it. There's a lot of side effects to the Manjaro and different stuff too. And some people can't afford it because, even if they're diabetic. So if you're not diabetic, like I'm not diabetic anymore. That's one thing. I was able to stop being diabetic before I was permanently diabetic, in part because of this gastric sleeve, but because of the journey that I had to go on, and before the gastric sleeve and during it and all of that whole thing. But yeah, if you guys want, you let me know. I will get that book out and I will share the portions, all the stuff it talks about, how you should do your plate, little stuff like that. One tip is getting little plates and bowls. It helps you with your portions. So I'm just saying that's why I have these little kid bowls. Same thing with utensils. You know, okay. So when I had the gastric sleeve, I was up within 30 minutes of me waking up. And I remember all the nurses and everybody was like, "Oh wow, you're doing so good." Da, 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 da. I did, and I did do good, and I'm proud of myself. And I was just bound and determined. I think I did myself a huge favor by doing that. Now, it wasn't easy, but I think getting up and walking around right away was a huge favor to myself, because I've heard so many other people talk about how there's all kinds of stuff, unpleasant stuff that happens if you don't get up and walk around, and it's way more painful. But it wasn't more painful than the gallbladder surgery at all. It was way less. And I remember with that time, and I mean, one of the things that probably helped was that the anesthesiologist knew that I was easy to get nauseous, and they gave me some kind of something, and I didn't get nauseous. And that time I remember coming out of the hospital, and it was with my mom again, and I had sat on my glasses. at the hospital at some point, and she's like, and she's driving me over to her house to stay at her house again, you know, and she's like, "Do you want to stop at Vision Express to get your glasses, see if we can get your glasses fixed?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was all, you know, like, "Are you ready to get?" And I was fine. I think I did take one pill that day. Later that day, it was kind of bothering me. I was kind of hurting a little bit. And of course, it made me just sleep. I just slept. And then the next day, I didn't take any. I think I just took one pain pill that time. So I'm expecting this surgery to be even less of, I mean, people get hysterectomies all the time, every day. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to hurt, but I'm just saying, I'm ready for it. All right, let's continue on the path of doing my prep. Okay, so I'm just going to put this in this bowl like this. And then there's my little fruit snacks. And I wouldn't advise just unpeeling all of these, you know, because I think they'll go bad faster. So they're easy to do. They're like cuties. That's what the big, you know, these are a different brand, but you know, So these are really good. I like them. They're good to have around. They're easy. They're easy to pick up and just peel one off instead of having a candy bar or something. Now that's bothering me, so I'm gonna cut it. I hate that. Okay, but doesn't that look nice? Looks nice to me. Looks yummy. So that's my dessert. Okay. And I'm gonna put this stuff in the refrigerator. Grapes and carrots. And I'm gonna put these back away, and then I'll be back with you, okay? I changed my mind. I'm gonna add to my quote-unquote dessert, but it's really gonna be something I'm gonna add to my salad. And I'm gonna take the rest of these grapes and transfer them into this smaller thing. This is the smallest one, and it's teeny tiny, but I'm sure there's something I can get in there. There's a reason that I'm doing this, because I'm gonna use this container for the apples. I'm gonna rinse it off. Okay, I'll be back with you after I put this stuff away. Okay, another thing I did while my husband was away was deal with Tupperware and fix this up a little bit. So I'm just gonna show you that. Now, some of this Tupperware came back. You know, I sent it off with them, and it's back now. There's still sausage balls and cheese in the refrigerator here. But that's for him to eat. So there, see the cheese and the sausage balls? That's for him to eat, and that's his tea. He likes this tea, so he's having one. I'm on his butt to drink more water, so he's doing that, and so I count that. Count that as water. Just like I count the Kool-Aid as water. Anyway, it's better than energy drinks and soda. Anyway, I hope you can see that cheese and meatballs in there. So this is his little side of the refrigerator. He don't eat much. I have to make him eat. He's got some other stuff in here, but you know. But so there's a little sandwich maker. I'll probably be using that a little bit more once I really start getting going. Now, I say that, and then while at the same time realizing I should avoid bread. I hear David's bread is pretty good, but I know that that's expensive. Dave's Killer Bread or whatever it's called. There's certain ones of those. Maybe I'll treat myself every now and then, but I'm trying to limit that at this point. I'm not saying I can never have it. I'm just trying to limit it. When I have been successful, which I have been, I am not currently, but am working towards fixing that. Actually, I am. I gained all this weight, and then I found out that I had to have this hysterectomy, and it gave me a good kick in the tail that I needed to go, you know what? I'd already been sort of thinking about it and working on it, and some of you guys might notice because I've been getting this different exercise tools and different things, trying to do different things, but it kind of made me realize, because I got weighed and I saw how much I weighed and how I'd gained 20 pounds since my loss, and I'm like, no way, this is unacceptable. I did not do all this work and go through all of this to screw it up. You know, I'm getting back on plan. I'm just going to start where I started at the beginning of that journey that worked for me when all the other times it failed. And for me, it's mostly about mindset, and knowledge, like knowing what works, figuring out what works for myself, knowing the different options and how you can make healthy food taste good, And it might be a no-brainer to some people, but seasoning is a really core ingredient to make things taste good. I need things to taste good. Mustard, that's another one. If you don't, just saying. Okay, so all of that is all organized and stuff. I'm gonna put this away. And I'm just thinking about where to put it. And I could put it there, underneath there, but I want easy access to it. So I'm gonna put it here. And what I'm afraid is gonna happen is my husband's gonna fling the door open and it's gonna go falling. So I don't wanna set him up for failure, just like I don't wanna set myself up for failure. So I'm gonna put it here on top of the recipe book. The recipe books there, and there's an Instapot down there, and there's a Cuisinart. I don't have room to have all these things out. I'll get them out as needed. But the main thing I think I'm going to be using soon is going to be this air fryer. Okay. Okay, next is the apples. So I've rinsed them off. I guess I'll get a knife to get this off. I don't want to mess up my nails too much. That's a thing I'm not used to saying. There's an accomplishment. I made several accomplishments on my first wellness journey, and I'm hoping to make more on this retelling. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it a retelling. Oh yeah, that reminds me of something else I started trying to talk about. Oprah Winfrey. That made me, when I was talking about Lady Gaga and Oprah Winfrey, it reminded me that, and now I understand what color I am, but I do come from, I feel like I'm coming from a good place, and it's okay for me to talk about it. I hope I'm not wrong about that. I've got a diversity of friends. I've always have. I have diversity of family members. Always have. So I'm just gonna say that. On the Oprah Winfrey thing, Martin Luther King. See, now I don't want to cut myself. Let me try. There, okay. I hope you can see this. Maybe not the most graceful. But anyway, I didn't, it wasn't intentional, but not, and it wasn't actually on Martin Luther King Day. I can't remember what day it was. And I was watching some kind of channel, and I had been watching some fluff, for lack of a better word. I mean, I hate to call it that way or to judge it or whatever, but like that Natalia Grace thing, like, just maybe it was just the way that it was produced or whatever, but it seemed like almost, it seemed exploitative, for lack of a better word. I don't even know what happened. I just feel like on that thing, I think she's probably a child, because, or she was, because I mean, they really did, as a horror movie person, they really just ripped the orphan right on off. But anyway, okay, it's Oprah Winfrey. So I think I had watched that Natalia Grace stuff, and oh my goodness, and feeling fortunate that I have the mom that I have. Now, my dad was not the best, but my mom is awesome. My dad's no longer with us. I shouldn't speak ill of the dead. He was an alcoholic. And you know, that's probably all you need to know. But he's an alcoholic. Well, that's about filled up. And I still have one apple left. That's why some of the apples gonna go in the dessert. Actually, it's probably gonna go in the salad. It's probably not gonna go in the dessert. It's probably gonna go in the salad. Oh, y'all didn't even see that. Oprah Winfrey. But I don't know, whatever station it was, or maybe I changed stations. I've got a lot of streaming services that I get for free because of, like, a family member has them type thing. So it was one of those. It's one of those that I get to watch because my mom has it and she shares her code with me. I know that it was not Netflix because they put a stop to that on Netflix. Anyway, I told you I rinsed these off already, right? I did. And there's the little cores. I'll throw those away. And I'm just going to set these over here to the side. As I continue to talk to you guys, to get the rest of this, this cords away. I may not need this. I might not need this. I'm not going to need that, but I'll rinse it off better here in a minute. Okay, so this save for last is the most important part, and for me, for what I've been instructed and educated about, protein. There is such a thing as undereating too, and I about died from not eating. There was a time there where I went through the sickness and all this stuff. I mean, I don't even feel like, I feel like it's already going to be so much overwhelming that I don't really want to tell that story. Maybe I'll tell it some other time. But whoa. Okay. Anyway, Oprah Winfrey. So I'm getting protein. I think I have a fork. And I've been doing stretches and different things to try to help my mobility. Unfortunately, folks, I can't tell you that this is a local restaurant I get this from. It's Black and Chicken, and it's $3 for like a breast, already done up and cut up for you. I think that this is more than one breast in here. And honestly, if I was going 100% proper on this, I'd measure it out, because there's a certain amount of, I'd measure it out on my little scale here, and I will probably get back into the habit of doing that. But right now, it's one step at a time. You know, I'm not going to just, you know. Anyway, I have more of this in the freezer. I showed it to you already, I think. I'm just going to eyeball about how much I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I like odd numbers, except for when I do that counting thing that I do. So I usually end up counting to 10. I don't know why. 2, 4, 5. Let's see. 2, 4, 5. I'll get one of these little ones. 2 of the little ones in there. And one of these little bitty ones. Okay. That looks good to me. And it's on the child's plate. But anyway, I'm able to get, I feel like that's a good deal, and it's worth, even if I were to buy it and try to do it myself, I feel like it would cost that. So, and I feel like I might have talked about why I don't think that I think it's just worth it to just go ahead and get this already made for me. Because I know I like it. I know it'll taste good. I don't ever get sick of it. And, you know, and I would, there's this other place that's local that does barbecue chicken, but I think the barbecue has a lot more calories in it, you know, like the barbecue sauce and stuff. So this is just chicken and seasoning. I don't know why this thing isn't wanting to shut right on me. Here. This is gonna drive me crazy. Okay, I'll keep talking about Oprah Winfrey as I try to get this on here. So basically I ended up watching this thing, Oprah Winfrey. It was like the making of, or the retelling of The Color Purple or something like that. And you know, she was in the movie The Color Purple, and it was talking all about it and about how, first of all, my favorite color is purple. I mean, that has nothing to do, well, maybe it does a little bit, because it talked about how can you walk by the color purple and not appreciate God, you know? And I'm going to say God as a general term. So I'm not trying to be religious specific here. And I do believe in a higher power, even though I'm agnostic. I know that's probably very confusing, but I'm a paradox of a person. My original name here on YouTube was Bedlam Paradox, because that pretty much sums me up. But anyway, I changed my name to my Nutty Nook to kind of try to make it more obvious that, hey, I'm a channel. You know. Anyway, okay. So I'm going to heat this up for about a minute. And, you know, it's one of those things, like, you can put it in your salad if you want, but I eat it separate. And one of the other thing that I do is I eat it first. I drink my water. And then, like, and this is a sort of technique that I learned through gastric sleeve. So it might not necessarily be something that everybody would need to try to do. It's just something that seems to work for me, so I do it. So I drink a good amount of water. Like, there's not very much left in here. This is a 40 ouncer, and it's to here. Now, no, did I within the last 30 minutes drink all this? No. I drink about this. I try to drink a good amount of water, a decent amount of water before I eat, and then I start with my protein. And once I feel like I've gotten like at least half of this protein, then I'll start munching on the other stuff. And then the desserts for last. And that's just one of those things that I was just taught. You save your dessert for last. Eat your vegetables. Can't have any pudding unless you don't eat your meat. Does anybody know what that's from? Probably. Okay. Well, my microwave is blocked, so I'll be right back. Okay, so it was something along those lines. I'm sorry I'm not getting the exact name of the show right, but it was like Oprah Presents, or behind the scenes of The Color Purple, the musical retelling, something like that. And I found out some stuff that I didn't know. You know, I've always loved that movie, The Color Purple. It makes me cry. I think that it obviously is for black people, you know, but I also think it's for anybody, for everybody. I mean, obviously there's some things that happen in that movie that are directly related to the black people and what we've done to them in the past. You know, the horrible things. But I feel like anybody can relate. Anybody that's been kicked around, beat down. It's I feel like Oprah says this, that the movie, it's what it is, it's about hope. It's about hope and forgiveness. Something about forgiveness and how important forgiveness is, and that is right. Anyway, she was talking about the book, the original book, and the lady that wrote the book, and the lady that wrote the book is supporting this whole thing, and then she talked about how there was a musical, which I had no idea. And then there's this chick, and I'm sorry I don't know her name, but she's playing the same role that Oprah played, and I recognized her. I was like, oh, that's that chick from The Boys. I think it was The Boys. It's this superhero kind of show. I hope I'm not getting that wrong. If it wasn't The Boys, it was something like that. And I'd seen her in another movie, and I can't remember what other thing I saw her in, but she was really good in both of them. Oh, okay. And anyway, it was just showing the whole thing, and Oprah handing the baton over to this actress. So basically, they made a musical out of it, and then now they're making a movie retelling out of the musical. And there's this guy, and he's really talented, who's directing it and put it all together, and all this, and all these talented people there. That chick from, and I'm sorry again for not knowing the names. I'm really bad at names. I'm really, really bad at names and remembering names. I will remember a face. Like, I will see some actor walk by in a role and be like, hey, I've seen that person before. Like, it's that serious. And I will recognize the face. But I'm terrible, terrible, terrible at names. But anyway, I recognize that girl that plays, now, see, I can't even remember the name. The role that Oprah played, Married to Harpo. It's horrible that I can remember Harpo, but I don't remember, because Harpo, Oprah, Harpo, you get it. Hopefully you get it. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm wrecking this whole thing. The point is, it was a really good watch, and I recommend it. And then after. And I'm interested in seeing this movie. I want to see this movie. And then after it was over with, I tried to find it. I tried to find the musical to watch, and I couldn't find it. But I found The Color Purple, and I watched it. And guess what I did? I freaking cried. I cried. I'm going to cry every time. But I also felt hopeful and just positive in the end, So that was nice. That was a nice thing, and then I was like, oh, Martin Luther King's day is tomorrow. I think that's what it was. I think it was like the day before, and I was really glad that I watched it for that. And I feel like I celebrated. And yeah, I think it's got a good message for. I don't think it's just for Black people. I think that it's good, and it's important also to not forget some of these things in our past. I don't think you should forget them. I don't want to sit and dwell on them, but it happened. You have to. You can't ignore it. These people have, not just in America on the Black people, though that was pretty bad, I'd say. Slavery and everything. That's not a good thing. Bad thing. No matter what color you are, slavery is not a good thing. And I laugh like that. It's a nervous laughter. And I'm smiling because I'm trying to express my good intentions, and I feel like I'm just like, somebody out there's like, why don't you just shut the F up, But, so anyway, I hope my intention comes through. Anyway, I love Oprah. Oprah, talk about someone that's inspiring, and, somebody. Look at what she did. Look at what Oprah did. You know what I'm saying? It's like very inspiring. And considering all the stuff that she went through and everything, it's just amazing, and how good of a person she does seem to be. And it's just really great. So I had a really positive experience, even though it made me cry. Of course, it made me cry. There's also this I don't want to say redemption arc, but like, you know, this sort of thing where even the kind, you know, you have to even feel not just one way about Mister, you know. In the end, he changed, so to speak. He saw the errors in his ways, and there's no such thing as being all bad. Maybe, well, I don't want to say that, because there's some pretty bad people doing some pretty bad things out there. So actually, I take that back. I do believe there's such a thing as evil people, but most people aren't like that, though. Most people are, nobody's all good all the time. Nobody's all bad all the time, usually, you know, in the majority. Anyway, even Mister, even somebody like Mister, he had his own trauma. He had, I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but at all, like, what he did was not okay at all. Not even a little bit. But you got to think about where he came from, and things he was taught, and what, you know what I'm saying? Like, in the end, he was able to do the right thing. And something about that's, it just makes you stop and think about, like, if you feel, when something bad happens to you, or somebody does something crappy to you or whatever, you try to think about their perspective a little bit. I don't know. I can't, I'm talking too much. I'm gonna put this stuff away. I'll put this in the refrigerator. So next time I'm ready to eat, I'm gonna be having a salad again. And because I'm not adding croutons or bacon bits or cheese, because that would be what I would normally do. But because of this situation I'm in, I found out I'm fine. I'm no longer diabetic, all that stuff. Everything's good, except I have a little bit of high cholesterol. And so I'm supposed to, the doctor told me to avoid, you know, not to cut it out completely, but to do my best to avoid things that are high in cholesterol. So I'm not going to use ranch. I'm not going to use croutons, and I'm not going to use any of that stuff, because she basically was like, don't do that. I mean, she didn't, but she did. I'm going to use this vinaigrette dressing that I got from Chili's. I got a whole extra thing of this dressing. I love this dressing. She said vinaigrette dressing is okay. And I'm going to put some apples in it. Now that might, actually I'm going to put, because I'm using this vinaigrette dressing, see, I'm changing my mind. When I would use ranch, I'd put apples in the salad, but I'm not going to do that with this vinaigrette, because I don't think it'll taste good. I'll put it, I'll put it in, so just about a teaspoon, maybe a little bit more than a teaspoon for this little bitty salad here. Anyway, this vinaigrette dressing is very good. It's just, ranch has a lot of, what do you call it, okay, so maybe a little bit more than I'm really just doing that to clean it up. Who am I kidding? Yeah, okay. So let me fix this up, and then I'll show you the whole thing. There's the stuff I'll put away, and salad and fruits. And chicken, I'll put away and put in pretty containers. I talked about putting things in pretty containers. Sorry about that, I had to sneeze. I talked about putting things in pretty containers as a deterrent, and that does work for me, but it also works for me as an encouragement. Like in the refrigerator, I have it in there in a pretty container, looking good, easy to grab, and it's encouraging me to grab it. And again, Bedlam paradox, but on the contrary, I have this, and it's in a pretty container, but I have, you know, it's a deterrent because it's decoration. So I can have these things and I have them available to myself, but I'm using that as a deterrent. I don't know if that makes any sense. I talked about it at my Dollar Tree. I talked about it at some time. Anyway, there's my salad. My lettuce and carrots, that's all it is. It's my chicken, and there's my fruit. And sometimes with these apples, I will use this this right here. Now, if I'm really wanting a sweet, it's 50 calories for 1 tablespoon. Let's see what it says. Let me get a better. Let me get a better. So, tablespoon, 1 tablespoon, 50 calories. No, none of the fats, none of the cholesterol. There's some sodium. 13 grams of carbs. That's a little surprising. Ooh, a lot of added sugars. Another one of those. Not for people who are diabetic. I mean, maybe in small doses. So there it is. And my water. My water gets made like whatever this water, say I made this water, and then I'll put it in the back and it'll cycle through. So what's in the refrigerator right now is Energy Peach Mango and lemonade. I mean, it didn't look like it was lemonade in there, but I guess, see, my husband makes it for me because he's got to get the big water bottle out, and I can't do that. The big waters, it's not good for me. These big waters, to be lifting and moving these things around, it's not a good idea for me to do. And so he makes my Kool-Aid for me, basically. And when he was away for the snow and stuff, he basically made me just like in here. And I've asked him, hey, can you make sure I've got 2 things of Kool-Aid in here? That little cup thing, as you can see, is about a pitcher's worth. I mean, I guess that's the lemonade. Yeah, this is the mango. This is the mango, and this is the lemonade. It just doesn't look so yellow because it's in a pink container. I'm sure that's right. You know what? Let me take a sip. And except I usually like to add the cherry skinny syrup to the lemonade. It's my very favorite. Let's see. Yep, it's lemonade. And that's one of my favorites, the lemonade, especially with a little bit of cherry syrup, a couple of squirts of cherry syrup added to one of these. It's my favorite. So I'm looking forward to getting to that one. That's not what's in here. What's in here right now is this one, the strawberry kiwi electrolytes. And only because I can't find my favorite electrolyte anymore. Like, it's the mixed berry, this one here, that's my favorite, and I just can't find it. I can never find it. I gotta have an electrolyte drink. So next is blue raspberry, so I'll be getting into that unicorn skinny syrup to go with the blue raspberry. Thank you so much for watching. I hope um, I hope I was helpful in some way to somebody. Love you guys.